con los precios más bajos en todo Houston. Nuestros estudios están enlazados con las cadenas de TV más importantes de esta ciudad, como ser Mega TV, Multimedios Houston, y esto le permite utilizar todos nuestros recursos como ser llamadas en vivo, videollamadas vía Skype, gráficos en pantalla, llamadas vía WhatsApp de cualquier parte del mundo, clips de video, multicámaras y mucho más. Rentamos nuestros estudios por hora. Llámanos y haz tu cita al teléfono 832-637-5042 o escríbenos a info@cbbaradio.com.
El siguiente espacio es un programa pagado y las opiniones emitidas en el mismo no representan la opinión de CBBA Radio ni de sus patrocinadores.
Welcome to Your Health Naturally. I'm your host, Lilibeth Andre. I'm a Pranic healer and a naturopath here in Houston, Texas. Last week I introduced you to my holistic anti-aging tip number 2, and I hope that you liked it and that you're starting to apply it in your daily life. Today we have a special guest. Sarah Startatos is a certified clinical medical assistant. She's been in the medical field for over 13 years. In 2010, she met Master Stephen Coe in Houston. She became so interested in pranic healing that she took every course offered, and in 2012, she opened her own clinic. She currently organizes local classes, free meditation sessions, and as well as healing expos here in town. Sarah, welcome.
Hi, Beth. How are you?
Good, good. Glad you can join us. Tell us about your experience with pranic healing and how you came to know about the healing method.
Okay, so in 2010, I was going through some emotional issues, some traumas that had recently happened in my life at that time. And a good friend of mine had a flyer, and she brought it to work, and she said, you know, this looks really interesting. We should go. It was at Unity Church, and I remember it was, the flyer said, your hands can heal you. So I was like, okay, let's go. You know, what can you lose? So I told my mom to join us, and we went and we sat, and we heard Master Stephen Coe talk about the power that your own hands have and the ability to heal yourself. So I was totally mesmerized that evening, and I was like, okay, I so want to learn more about this. And I found out that next evening he was going to be at Body, Mind, and Soul teaching another course. So of course I was like, oh, we have to go. So we went the next night, and we heard him speak some more, and on that night he was talking about his book that he had written with Dr. Eric Robbins. And at the end of the talk, he's like, I'll be back in a month, and we're going to be teaching pranic healing. So I was so revved up. I told my mom and my friend, we have to take the class. We signed up for all 3 classes, and the rest is history. I took the classes back in October in 2010, and I haven't stopped learning since.
So what was your impression?
So my first impression was, part of me was kind of skeptical because, again, I come from a medical background, so you're used to conventional medication and the conventional way to treat health ailments, which is always you treat the symptoms, you don't treat the cause. So what I liked about pranic healing was that you're actually getting to the root of the issue, and it explained why things happen that sometimes we can't understand in regular medicine. So anything that happens in our energetic body and in our aura and in our chakras then manifests as a physical ailment within the body. That's what sickness is. It's just a physical manifestation of what's going on in the energy body. So it made sense to me, and it explained how a lot of times we're sick and we don't understand why, or how the doctors can't figure out what's really going on with us. So I was very excited that I finally found something that made sense to me.
And you had mentioned that there was an opportunity that came up that evening.
Yes, so at the end of the 3-day course, mind you, we've been there 3 days from 9 a.m. to almost midnight. You're mentally and physically exhausted from learning, but you're also invigorated at the same time. They asked, does anyone have any space where they'd like to offer, because, you know, we had the organizer at the time, she wanted to do meditation somewhere. So my mom and I raised our hands. We were the first person, and we offered our clinic as a place where we could meet and do meditation. So we helped her open up the first healing clinic in Houston back in 2010, and then I was able to branch off and open up my own healing clinic in 2012.
So what was your motivation? What was sparking you on?
So part of it was all of the amazing results that I had seen within not within the community, as well as helping, you know, working on my family members without telling them and working on patients. My first healing that I ever did was on a little boy who only ate through a feeding tube. And I remember his mom brought him in and she's like, I've tried everything. She was actually very religious, and she's like, I don't know if this will work, but I've tried everything, so I want to try this. And I remember doing the protocol and following everything in the book, and I remember her contacting me the next day and telling me that he ate a french fry with ketchup on it, and she was shocked. Like, she couldn't believe it herself that this worked, you know, because she said, I don't know how moving your hand is going to fix anything, but it did. It produced results. So at that moment I realized there was something to this.
Mm-hmm. So the person you met, Master Ko, at this session?
I met Master Ko, yes. The first time he came was September 2010, and then he taught October 2010. That was the first time he had taught in Houston.
Okay.
It was about 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened after that? You began to have the sessions right away, or?
So what we did right after is we started organizing the healing clinic, and at first it became almost like a study group for all the people that had graduated. We would all come and join and go over what we learned, and then we offered free healing to anyone who was available into the community. Mm-hmm. And back then there was, you know, there wasn't as much activity on Facebook, and we didn't have Meetup then, so it was kind of like trying to get the word out by mouth. We used to advertise through Unity. And then finally in 2012, when I was able to open up my own clinic, I found meetup.com, and I was able to reach so many more people in the Houston area that way.
Okay. So what was your objective? What was your goal, your motivation to do this?
So when I first started taking pranic healing, my first idea, you know, with that you have the ability to heal yourself, was I wanted to heal myself. I have, when I was 16, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disorder of the thyroid. And my doctor told me, I remember sitting in the office telling me, you know, this is something you'll have for the rest of your life. There's no cure for it. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like something good. So my whole life I had been searching for something, some, you know, alternative way to heal myself. And after I took the class, I worked on myself. I did the protocols on myself, and I had other people work on me. And I can say that after a year, I was off my medication and my levels were normal.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. Certainly rewarding.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was when that happened as well. It was one of those big eye-openers for me that, you know, you sit and you think that you have an ailment that can't be fixed, and in fact there are ways to fix things alternatively. Mm-hmm. You know, well, so it was very, very good.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say is pranic healing, and how does it work?
Okay, so pranic healing is a no-touch energy modality that is developed on by Master Chokoksui, Sui, who was an engineer by trade, and he used the 2 rules that the body has the ability to heal itself through prana, and he developed a whole system based on these rules that your body can heal as long as you are using the body's own life force. So the practitioner, the pranic healer, will go through and scan the patient for whether it's too much energy or not enough energy, which we call in pranic healing congestion and depletion. We look for congestion and depletion within the body in order to fix and allow the body to heal itself.
Mm-hmm. And what type of training do you have to do in order to be able to do this? I mean, could anyone just walk up and begin to, you know, follow the instructions and do this? How does it
Well,
work?
actually, that's what Master Choa wanted. He had said originally, I want a healer in every house. So Pranic Healing was designed so that anyone could pick up the book and produce the same results without having, any clairvoyant abilities or any special abilities. That's what he intended. Yes, there are courses, that help you refine yourself as a healer. The level 1 course is a 2-day course, and it teaches you about your energetic anatomy. So just like we have a physical body, we have an energetic body, and in order to understand how healing works, you have to understand the energetic components of your body. So in that 2-day course, you learn how pranic healing works, how to scan energy, and you start to work on protocols in that 2-day course so that when you leave the course, you know how to work on patients right away.
Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back with Sarah Stratatos.
¿Has sufrido un accidente de auto? ¿Accidente de tráiler? ¿Te has lastimado en el trabajo? ¿Te explotó una llanta en Estados Unidos o México? Si dijiste sí a una de estas preguntas, entonces llámanos ya al 713-228-3030. 713-228-3030. El abogado de la raza Cristóbal Galindo te defenderá y te dará lo que tú mereces. Llámanos ya y tu cita será gratis. 713-228-3030. Y si no puedes venir, nosotros vamos hasta tu casa u hospital. El abogado en quien puedes confiar es Cristóbal Galindo, el abogado de la raza.
Si tú sanas, todo tu entorno también. Ven a sanar con Vania y deja tu dolor, tristeza, frustración y sufrimiento. Reserva tu espacio para consultas con profesionales al 281-745-4309. 281-745-4309. Sana ya.
Welcome back to Your Health Naturally. We have a special guest today. That's Sarah Stratatos, and she is talking to us about pranic healing. Sarah, you there?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, thanks. Well, it's all very interesting with the modalities and the protocols and whatnot. So what could someone expect from a pranic healing session?
Okay, so when a patient comes in, especially like on our group settings when we have meditation on a Saturday, we do a 20-minute guided meditation, and this actually starts the healing process for the patient. Sometimes they're not aware of it, but the meditation is really important. So after the 20-minute guided meditation, I have all the healers set up, and I pair off healer with patient. The patient will explain to their healer what they're coming in for. Sometimes it's for stress relief. Sometimes it's for something simple like a headache. Other times we have people that come in with more serious issues like autism or maybe diabetes, and we've even had cancer patients come in. So what the practitioner will do is they'll talk with the patient, they'll figure out what protocol to use on the patient, and then they will start the pranic healing session. On Saturdays, typically, a session can be anywhere for 30 minutes to an hour. And again, we offer all of this free to the community as a way to not only help others, but a way to show people that pranic healing is out there and that they have the ability to heal themselves.
You mentioned something that was very interesting about having a healer in every home.
Yes.
How is that going to take place? What is the method to make that happen?
So the way to do that is not only by offering the classes all over the world, but by having these healing clinics. By having healing clinics, we expose more and more people every week to pranic healing. When they're exposed to pranic healing and when they see what can be achieved, typically people sign up for the class because they want to produce, the same results on themselves and on their loved ones. And we have pranic healing in over 187 countries, and they have I know Master Choa's foundation in the Philippines, they get donations to go to places in third world countries where they don't have access to healthcare all the time. But there are pranic healers there, and they teach pranic healing to people that need it, that don't have access to everyday medical care. So that was the goal, was to try to get everyone in the world to have access to healing, whether it's through conventional medicine or through energy healing.
Mm-hmm. And are the effects permanent? How does that work?
So again, with every patient, it's different. Some people come in, and I've worked on, I had one lady one time with floaters in her eyes. We did one session, she was fine. Other people are, depending on how long they've had the condition, take longer and more sessions to achieve the desired result. It kind of depends what you're coming in for. If you're coming in for a chronic issue that you've had for 20 years, you know, of course, you're not going to expect it to go away in one session. There are occasions when that happens, but, you know, if it took 20 years to get you somewhere, it's going to take a few years to undo that damage that has happened in the physical body.
So anyone can practice pranic healing? I mean, do you have to have any special skills? Does that help if you do have special skills?
I have worked in pranic healing. I have been involved in pranic healing for over 7 years, and I personally know healers that do have great abilities, like that are empathic or that are clairvoyant, and then I also know healers that have absolutely no abilities, and both are able to produce results. The most important thing is the practitioner who practices all the time and who keeps learning and stays involved. You know, every time Master Co teaches, I've been in his basic class, I don't know, probably 100 times. You still get new information every time you go. So it's so important not only to stay involved in the local group, but to make sure you're up to date on the classes, because new information is given.
So the healers are continuously training?
A lot of the times the healers are continuously training by attending the healing clinic, yes. So any new information that I get as a group leader, I pass on to my healers. And again, I go to classes all the time all over the United States.
You're a mom.
Sorry, my mom. Yeah, I'm a mom. Can you tell?
Okay, so anyone can begin to practice pranic healing. They can come to the sessions.
Right.
How could one locate a practitioner?
And back to your previous statement, I have had actually people that bought the book, and they bought it 10 years ago. They had no idea there was even a group in Houston, and then they found me, and they had been practicing without ever taking a class. Obviously, the class helps so that they understand what they were reading in the book, but it proves that having the book is, you know, you're halfway there to becoming a pranic healer. You know, you can really learn a lot from what Master wrote in the book. To locate a pranic healer, what I would recommend doing is so that you find, you know, somebody authorized by the center, is you go to pranichealing.com, which is Pranic healing.com, and on the web page there's a little image of the United States. You click on it, and there's a tab underneath that says healing clinics. So the healing clinics are organized by state, and you can see all of those people have had the training. Not only are they pranic healers and they've taken all the courses, they've also taken the courses to run the healing clinic, because there are certain rules and standards in order to make sure that pranic healing is done the same way everywhere. You know, you want to make sure that all the practitioners are doing the same thing. You don't want to go one place and you see it differently than it's being done in another state. So they have all of the rules and guidelines to ensure that pranic healing is done the way it was written to be done.
So you mentioned that there are these protocols that are followed. How were those protocols developed?
So Master Choa spent 30 years researching and developing the system of pranic healing. So what he found is, let's say there are 30 people that all had headaches. What he realized was that everybody that had the headaches had the same energy issues in their chakras. So he was onto something. If everybody complaining of a headache had the same energy patterns within them, he knew that by correcting these energy patterns, he would produce results. So that's how pranic healing happened with the protocols, is that he realized that all these ailments have the same affected energy centers in every patient that came in with that complaint. And he also validated this not only with scanning, but with the use of a very good clairvoyant, who he mentions and gives credit to in the book.
Okay. Well, let's take a break with that, and we'll be right back.
¿Tuviste accidente accidente de auto, tráiler o en el trabajo? ¿Necesitas terapias? Entonces llámanos ya al 713-228-3030. Te ayudamos, no importa tu estatus legal. 713-228-3030. Cristóbal Galindo, el abogado de la raza. La primer consulta es gratis.
Welcome back. We're talking about pranic healing with Sarah Stadatos. Sarah, this is all very interesting. So how can people get involved? How can they participate, either as, maybe they're interested in learning about this, or maybe they're interested in being practiced on?
Right. So almost every Saturday at 5 o'clock, we have the free healing sessions as well as the guided meditation. Our schedule can be found on my Facebook page, which is Pranic Healing Houston. We have a meetup page as well. If you go to meetup.com, you can find us at Pranic Healing Houston. And when we're not doing the meditations on Saturday, I've also started working with Nia Moves, which is a yoga studio in Houston in the Heights area, and we go once a month over there to do a free healing expo where we just go to work on clients or to work on patients. Besides that, if you'd like to get involved to find a class near you, our class schedule can be found on our Facebook page, on Meetup, as well as on Master Co's page, which is pranichealing.com.
So people can just walk into the session at 5 o'clock on a Saturday evening?
Yes, they sure can. We welcome anyone and everyone to come join us and to experience the power of prana.
Well, describe some of what might happen during the session.
Okay, so when you come in, obviously we're going to introduce the group members to you. And then after that, we do these very light exercises that help prepare the body for meditation. After the guided 20-minute meditation, we will have the practitioners prepare and group off with their patients. So the practitioner will talk with their patient about what they expect, or what they're wanting from a session, whether it's stress relief or they're having some relationship issues or even financial issues. They'll talk with their practitioner, and the practitioner will find the specific protocol to help the patient. And then after, we just ask the patient to sit down and relax and enjoy the session.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the typical responses that you hear from people?
Usually, I don't know if it's just the wonderful atmosphere we have, a lot of people tend to fall asleep during a session. If they don't fall asleep, we find that they're super relaxed and just really enjoy the energy and enjoy the group members that we have.
So you have your regular attendees?
Yes, I have my regular practitioners that come and help me on a weekly basis, the ones that are the most active in the group. And then as far as patients come, we get some people that have been coming, for 5 years, the same people, and other times we get new people. It kind of fluctuates, just depending on everyone's schedule. And, if we're in the Heights, we have different type of people that come in because it's in one part of town versus if they're coming to the regular healing clinic on Saturdays.
Okay. What are some of your objectives for pranic healing in Houston?
I'm sorry?
What are some of your objectives for pranic healing in Houston?
So my objective for Pranic Healing in Houston, we would like to have obviously more activity, more people join the group, and I want to eventually have a meditation or a healing clinic more than once a week. We're going to try to have more activities. That way I can get more people involved. Like I said, the more people that we have involved, it's, we're help spreading the work, and we're able to help more people in the community.
Okay, so if people want to attend a session, they can go to Pranic Healing Houston on Facebook or Meetup to find out about the sessions, and to find a practitioner, they can go to pranichealing.com. Is that correct?
Yes, they can go to pranichealing.com. They can always send me a message through Facebook Messenger, or they can email me, Sarah at pranichealing.com, SARA at pranichealing.com, and I will make sure to give them all the information about the healing clinics and to send them the link so they can stay updated with our schedule, as well as if they're looking for a practitioner.
Okay, well, Sarah, thanks for being on the show. We appreciate the information.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry about the baby.
No problem. Well, friends, this was the end of our Pranic Healing session today with Sarah Stradatos, and we will see you next week, where I will be introducing my holistic anti-aging tip number 3. So I hope to see you next week.
El programa anterior fue un programa pagado y las opiniones emitidas en el mismo no representan la opinión de CBBA Radio ni de sus patrocinadores.